Psychological traits of true dog lovers. Part 1. Have you ever wondered why some people feel an instant connection with dogs? Not just liking them, but truly loving them, understanding them, and even feeling emotionally attached in a way that seems almost human? This isn't random. There's actually a deep psychological explanation behind why certain people become true dog lovers. And in this series, we're going to explore what really goes on inside their minds. Let's start with the first and most powerful trait. 1. High emotional empathy. True dog lovers are often highly empathetic people. They don't just see a dog, they feel what the dog might be experiencing. When a dog looks scared, they don't ignore it. When a dog is excited, they feel that joy too. This emotional mirroring is a key psychological trait. These individuals are naturally tuned into emotions, both human and non-human. In psychology, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Dog lovers often score high in this area. They're the kind of people who notice small changes in mood, tone, and behavior, and this sensitivity allows them to bond deeply with animals. Interestingly, dogs themselves are very emotional creatures. They respond to human feelings, facial expressions, and even tone of voice. So when an empathetic person meets a dog, it creates a powerful emotional feedback loop, each responding to the other. This is why dog lovers often say, "My dog understands me." And from a psychological perspective, they're not entirely wrong. 2. Need for unconditional love. Another strong psychological factor is the desire for unconditional love. Humans live in a world full of conditions, judgment, expectations, and social pressure. But dogs, they don't care about your status, your appearance, or your mistakes. They love you simply because you exist. For many dog lovers, this kind of pure, non-judgmental connection fulfills a deep emotional need. It creates a safe space where they can be themselves without fear of rejection. This doesn't mean dog lovers are weak or dependent. In fact, it often means the opposite. They value authenticity. They crave genuine relationships, and they find that honesty in dogs. Psychologically, this can also be linked to attachment styles. People who appreciate secure, stable bonds often feel drawn to dogs because dogs provide consistent affection and loyalty. 3. Strong sense of responsibility. Loving a dog isn't just about cuddles and playtime. It requires commitment, discipline, and responsibility. And true dog lovers usually embrace this fully. They understand that a dog depends on them for food, safety, health, and emotional care. This sense of responsibility becomes part of their identity. Psychologically, this reflects a trait known as conscientiousness. These individuals tend to be organized, reliable, and caring. They don't take relationships lightly, whether with humans or animals. What's fascinating is that caring for a dog can actually strengthen these traits. It builds routine, patience, and a sense of purpose. For example, waking up early for walks, maintaining feeding schedules, and ensuring proper care. All of this requires consistency, and dog lovers often find satisfaction in fulfilling these responsibilities. It gives them a sense of meaning. For lower levels of loneliness, here's something interesting. Many studies suggest that dog lovers often experience lower levels of loneliness. Why? Because dogs provide companionship that feels real and emotionally fulfilling. Even when a person is physically alone, having a dog creates a sense of presence. There's someone who listens, reacts, and connects psychologically. This reduces feelings of isolation. Dogs can act as emotional anchors, helping people stay grounded during stressful or lonely times. This is especially important in today's fast-paced world, where social connections can sometimes feel shallow or temporary. A dog's presence is steady, predictable, comforting, and for many dog lovers, that stability becomes incredibly valuable. 5. Playfulness and joy orientation. Dog lovers often have a playful side to their personality. Think about it. Dogs love to play. They run, jump, chase, and explore with pure excitement. And people who truly love dogs tend to engage in that same energy. This reflects a psychological trait known as joy orientation, the ability to find happiness in simple, everyday moments. Dog lovers don't always need grand experiences to feel fulfilled. A walk in the park, a game of fetch, or even just watching their dog be happy can bring genuine joy. This mindset is incredibly healthy. It reduces stress, improves mood, and enhances overall well-being. In a way, dogs teach people how to live in the present moment, and dog lovers are usually the ones who embrace that lesson the most. Strong loyalty and commitment patterns. One of the most defining traits of dog lovers is loyalty. Dogs are known for unwavering loyalty. People who connect with them often reflect that same trait in their own lives. These individuals value long-term relationships. They're not the type to easily walk away when things get difficult. Whether it's friendships, family, or romantic relationships, they tend to stay committed. Psychologically, this shows a preference for stability and emotional security. Dog lovers often believe in being there for others, just like their dog is always there for them. This doesn't mean they tolerate toxic situations, but it does mean they take relationships seriously. They invest time, energy, and care, and once they bond with someone, that bond tends to run deep. Higher levels of trust and openness. Dog lovers often display a higher level of trust, both in animals and in people. Forming a bond with a dog requires openness. You communicate without words, understand behavior, and build trust. This naturally extends into human interactions. These individuals are often more approachable, warm, and open-minded. They're willing to give others a chance, and they usually believe in the good in people. From a psychological perspective, this links to agreeableness, a personality trait associated with kindness, cooperation, and trust. However, this openness isn't naive. Dog lovers are also highly observant. Just like they read a dog's body language, they're often good at sensing human intentions too. Comfort with nonverbal communication. Dog lovers are often excellent at nonverbal communication. Dogs don't speak, yet they communicate constantly through body language, eye contact, movement, and energy. People who spend a lot of time with dogs become skilled at interpreting these subtle signals, and, over time, this skill carries into their interactions with humans. They pick up on tone, facial expressions, and unspoken emotions. They notice when something feels off, even if no one says anything. Psychologically, this reflects strong emotional intelligence. These individuals don't just listen to words. They read between the lines, stress relief and emotional regulation. Another key psychological benefit of loving dogs is improved emotional regulation. Life can be stressful. Work pressure, personal struggles, and daily challenges can build up quickly. But dog lovers often have a natural way to manage the stress. Spending time with a dog, petting them, playing, or even just sitting together can reduce anxiety and calm the mind. This isn't just a feeling, it's backed by science. Interacting with dogs can lower cortisol levels and increase oxytocin, the bonding hormone. As a result, dog lovers often develop healthier coping mechanisms. Instead of bottling up emotions, they find comfort and release through their connection with their dog. Over time, this leads to greater emotional balance and resilience, a sense of purpose and meaning. For many dog lovers, their dog isn't just a pet, it's a purpose. Caring for another living being creates a sense of responsibility that goes beyond daily routines. It gives life structure, meaning, and direction. Psychologically, having a sense of purpose is crucial for mental well-being. It motivates people, improves mood, and even increases life satisfaction. Dog lovers often feel needed, and that feeling can be incredibly powerful. Knowing that their dog depends on them brings a sense of importance and fulfillment. It's not just about taking care of a dog, it's about being someone that another life trusts completely. And that kind of connection is rare. Greater compassion toward all living beings. True dog lovers often extend their compassion beyond just dogs. They tend to care deeply about animals in general, and sometimes even show increased kindness toward people. This reflects a broader psychological trait, compassion orientation. When someone learns to care for a dog, understanding its needs, emotions, and vulnerabilities, it opens their heart on a larger scale. They become more patient, more understanding, and more forgiving. In many cases, this compassion shapes their values and worldview. They may become more aware of animal welfare, more sensitive to suffering, and more motivated to help others. For many people, loving dogs becomes part of who they are. It's not just something they enjoy, it's something they identify with. You'll often hear phrases like, "I'm a dog person," and that simple statement carries psychological weight. It reflects values, loyalty, warmth, playfulness, and emotional connection. Dog lovers often express themselves through this identity. It shows up in their lifestyle, their daily routines, even their social circles. Psychologically, this is known as identity integration, when an interest or relationship becomes a core part of how someone sees themselves. And in this case, the bond with a dog becomes more than companionship, it becomes a reflection of the self. Dog lovers tend to value authenticity over superficial connections. Why? Because dogs are completely genuine. They don't pretend. They don't manipulate. Their emotions are real and immediate. Spending time with such honest creatures can shape a person's expectations in relationships. Dog lovers often prefer people who are real, transparent, and emotionally honest. They may feel uncomfortable around fake behavior or shallow interactions. Psychologically, this reflects a desire for emotional congruence where words, actions, and feelings align. This is why many dog lovers keep their social circles small but meaningful. They're not interested in quantity, they care about quality. Another interesting trait is sensitivity, not in a weak sense, but in an aware, intuitive way. Dogs are extremely sensitive to energy. They can sense fear, stress, excitement, and even subtle mood changes. People who spend a lot of time around dogs often become more attuned to this as well. They notice the vibe of a room. They pick up on tension, comfort, or unease even when nothing is said. This psychological awareness can influence decision-making, relationships, and even personal boundaries. Dog lovers often trust their instincts. If something feels off, they pay attention to it. And this intuitive awareness can be a powerful guide in life. At the core of dog love is a strong nurturing instinct. Taking care of a dog requires patience, attention, and emotional investment over time. This strengthens a person's natural caregiving tendencies. These individuals often enjoy looking after others, whether it's family, friends, or even strangers in need. Psychologically, this connects to caregiving behavior, which is linked to feelings of empathy, protection, and responsibility. But here's the important part: true dog lovers don't just care out of obligation, they want to care. It brings them satisfaction, it gives them emotional fulfillment, and it reinforces their sense of purpose. Life isn't always easy. People face loss, stress, and emotional challenges, but dog lovers often develop a unique form of resilience built through their bond with their dog. Dogs provide comfort during difficult times. They offer presence without pressure, support without judgment. This creates a safe emotional outlet. Psychologically, this helps individuals process emotions in a healthier way. Instead of feeling completely alone, they have a companion who grounds them. And over time, this strengthens emotional resilience, the ability to recover and move forward. For many dog lovers, their dog becomes a source of strength during life's toughest moments. Here's something deep: dogs live in the present. They don't worry about the past. They don't stress about the future. They simply exist, fully engaged in the moment. And people who truly connect with dogs often learn this mindset. They begin to appreciate small things: a walk, fresh air, companionship, quiet moments. This reflects a psychological state similar to mindfulness. Dog lovers often become better at slowing down, being present, and finding peace in simplicity. And in a world that constantly pushes for more, faster, and bigger, this mindset is incredibly valuable.